Well, hello there, and welcome back to the Business of Becoming podcast. I'm your host, Lori Kennedy, and this is episode number 42. Okay, you are going to love this episode because Sterling, first of all, is hilarious, and second of all, he is a genius. He's a natural when it comes to sales, having sales conversations, and shifting your sales mindset. You are going to want to bookmark this episode for sure and come back to it again and again. Sterling Griffin is the founder of the Wealthy Coach Academy, an online school which helps fitness coaches create a personal brand, become wealthy, and leave a legacy. All of the resources we talk about during this episode can be found at thewbh.com/42. So without further ado, let's bring Sterling to the show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so excited to have the master of sales on today's podcast. Not only has he taught myself and my team how to sell with like enthusiasm and confidence and just totally transformed the way that we do sales in my company, the way that we feel about doing sales. And I'm so excited to have him here to talk to us today. We're going to dive into something that we haven't covered yet, which is his specific strategy that you guys can use in your Facebook group. So I know you're going to get so much out of this. He is honestly the master of just sales and really just compassion and enthusiasm. And so I'm so excited to have him. I'll let him introduce himself. Honestly, he's one and only Mr. Sterling Griffin.
Wow. Thank you. I feel like the trumpets were blowing somewhere as you were sharing that. So my name's Sterling, and yes, I'm the founder of a online school called the Wealthy Coach Academy. I teach coaches how to create six-figure businesses within 90 days. And I'm so pumped to be sharing with your audience, Lori, like everything they need to go out and not just like do well in sales and make good money, but to feel good about it because they see that in the end, it leads to lives being changed.
Yes. So why don't we start off with talking about why people don't feel good about it?
Yes. So the way, unfortunately, that most of us experienced sales growing up, whether it was at a car dealership or the way that our parents talked about sales, is we saw sales as being manipulative. Is that sales is an act of someone taking from somebody else. It's like if I'm being sold, then someone is just trying to get my money and they don't actually care about me, the person. And it's unfortunate because everything good in our life has come because somebody was sold something. The computer that we have in our hands right now, you and I were sold on having a computer, and thank God that we were, because how many beautiful things have come in our life because of a computer, because of a smartphone, because of like drinking more water. I'm holding a glass of water in my hands. I was sold on drinking way more water, and my energy has now gone through the roof as a result. So everything, while there are some things in our life that have come that are negative in our life, everything that's good in our life has come from us being sold, from somebody selling to us. And so when it comes to like good people, which I would bet, Laura, I know that you're an extremely good, heart-centered person. The people that are connected with you are the same. They admire that. They want that. They want to be more like that. When good people sell a good service, it's good for the world. It's good for the world. And I feel like so many coaches, so many experts are out there saying to themselves, like, I don't want to sell because I don't want to hurt anybody. When in fact, the opposite would be true. If they got great at sales and mastered it, the world would be a far better place. Far better place. That's why I say to my clients, and for those of you listening, write this down. Unless you're driving, please do not write this down while you're driving. I say that sales is the transformation. And if you want to create transformation in the lives of your clients, your followers, your listeners, your Facebook group members, master influence, master sales, because that's how you'll add the most value to their life.
I totally agree. And I know for myself, that's been true in the sense of I felt like if I didn't become really good at sales, I was actually harming my clients. I was doing them a disservice because in our industry, both you and I and everybody listening, we provide a lot of content for free, like a lot.
Yeah.
And there has to be some follow-up mechanism. Otherwise, we're leaving them high and dry to basically fail because they
Yes.
need the accountability, they need the coaching. They know they do, but it's not their responsibility to proposition us. It's
Yes.
our responsibility to invite them, what we call invite them into transformation via some type of communication, some type of conversation around here's what I do, here's how I can help you. How does that sound to you?
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And what I always say, Laura, it like absolutely to your point is like we can give content all day for free, but free content can only, everyone pay attention to this. Free content can only provide inspiration.
Mm.
It cannot provide transformation.
Totally. That's so good because there needs to be skin in the game. There needs to be an accountability metric, which is an investment.
Yes. Yes. So it's like it's time to shift. If you're, and listen, I grew up like I have no sales background before like 4 years ago. Like I sucked at sales for my first couple years, and it wasn't because I didn't have access to the right strategy. It's because I didn't believe that selling was good for my people. That's why 3 years ago, when I was a door-to-door salesperson, I was a really bad salesperson, and I ended up homeless. I was so bad at sales. So, but once I started to shift my mindset that selling is serving, that's when things started to turn around for me. And that's how my business grew rapidly. And I now help coaches do the same thing. But start here, start with seeing that in selling, you are serving. You are giving people an opportunity to commit to their own transformation, their own highest vision of themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny to me because I get this a lot. I'm sure you do too. It's like people say to me, I don't want to be annoying and I don't want to be pushy and I don't want to be salesy. And I'm like, has anyone ever messaged you, called you, and emailed you and said, please stop posting these transformational health tips? You're so annoying. Right? I'm pretty sure that's not the truth. So it's an interesting conversation for us to have in terms of why do you believe selling is bad, annoying, pushy, or salesy when you have no basis for that, right? It's like,
Yes.
where does that even come from? And why are we even putting that on ourselves?
Mm. Yeah, unfortunately, as many of us were told when we were young, and I can certainly vouch for this, like whether it was from peers at school or from, authority figures, is like what you do is never going to be good enough. Like you're never going to make it. I mean, come on, you serious? Like take a lower vision for your life. Like let's just kind of try and fitting in would be winning for you. That was my personal belief, and that was the belief of a lot of people around me. Like I didn't really have friends when I was in high school or middle school. Like I struggled to fit in. I'm still kind of a weirdo, but I just embrace it now. But back then I was a weirdo that didn't own it. And here's the thing is like most people believe the negative things that people say about them rather than the positive things
Mm.
that others say about them. And as long as you're believing the lie that you're never enough, you're never going to make it, your services aren't good enough as they are, then of course you wouldn't want to sell people on your services because you feel in your heart that it would be a disservice to them. As soon as you can shift to what I have to offer is valuable, my services are valuable, I give a crap about the person in front of me, I'm not going to let them fail if they keep taking action, then at that point you start to get really good at sales really fast because more than it's just about a skill or a strategy you're using, you're just passionate and you love your people. So of course you want them to buy for their benefit.
Yes, absolutely. And I've seen a shift, and I'm sure you'll agree. I've seen a shift online where, it can't just be this like bland, boring thing anymore with like a personal brand or whatever. Like we have to be the weirdo, but I've definitely seen it where we have to be ourselves. We have to have those very passionate, like draw a line in the sand for people and stand up for them and say, I'm taking a stand for you. This
Yes.
is, and that's really hard for people, I think, especially if they're first starting, they don't have the confidence. So let's talk about some ways that they can use words, literally language, in their free Facebook groups, for
Great.
example, where they can take a stand for people and continue that conversation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love this question because My business and the businesses of my clients are basically built on the strategy that I'm going to share with you right now in this podcast for free. So please
Yeah.
take notes. Please use this. Please enjoy this, because this has made me quite a bit of money and helped me change quite a few lives. So when what people are thinking, what a lot of coaches are hoping for is that somebody is going to reach out to them every single day, or multiple people are going to reach out to them every single day and say, hey, whatever it is that you offer, can I please buy that? Okay. And so unfortunately, because that is just not how business works most of the time, they are sitting around waiting. They are waiting, waiting, waiting. And what I tell people is this: if your strategy is waiting, it's working, because you're just gonna end up keep waiting. If you're waiting now, you'll keep waiting. So followers wait, but leaders initiate. So my whole strategy is built on this one principle. If you want clients, go get them. If you want clients, go get them. They are waiting for you. They are actually waiting for you. So be a leader. Leader is someone who makes a difference, a positive difference in the lives of others. Be a leader and initiate. So it's quite simple. Let's say that you have people in your Facebook group right now that you've been adding value to. Maybe you're going live on a regular basis. Maybe you're adding written content or sharing photos or infographics or videos that are helpful to your group. You always need to start there with your Facebook group, with your Instagram audience, with your Facebook audience. Wherever your audience is, you're adding value to them. But then there comes a certain point where that person is interested in working with you, but they just don't connect their own goals in their life, their own needs in their life, to what you're selling. They think that the free content is enough to help them. But all they got to do is look back over the last 3-6 months and see that nothing's changed for them to see the truth. So here's what happens. Let's say that you have someone in your group that's been liking some of your posts. They've been commenting on some of your posts, or maybe they just joined your group and they're really excited to be there. Send them a message. This is really simple. Some of you, like, your mind was already blown. You're like, what the heck just happened? Holy crap, I can actually send them a message. I don't have to wait. But that's exactly how this works. If you want a client, go get it. So send a message to this person that just joined your group and say something simple like, hey, thanks so much for joining the group. I'm so excited that you're here. And I just want to ask you, like, how's your day going? Be human. What are people? Listen, Laura, you know this.
Be
People
human.
online,
Be a person. The person in your group is also a person. Say hello. Introduce yourself.
oh my gosh, yes, it's so good. And what I find is that my clients, yes, they're craving strategy, and their clients also, the clients of my clients are craving strategy to change their life, but they also just want connection. They just want to, like, meet another human in this big, sometimes lonely world we call the internet. People are craving connection. And so send them a message. Say, hey, how's it going? If they've liked one of your posts, hey, thanks for engaging with my recent live stream. I just wanted to send you a note and ask how your day is going. So open up a conversation. Start there. After you do that, the person will share with you some of their life. Maybe they won't, but some of them, many of them will. They'll be happy for the connection. At that point, you say, what are you up to in the world? That's like my go-tos. Like, what are you up to? Again, it's not just the surface level, how are you? It goes a little bit deeper connection. Some people will talk about their career. Some people will talk about their family. Some people will talk about their health. Doesn't matter. You're looking for that deeper connection. It's at this point you transition and we get down to business. And by the way, this is where a lot of people start to get uncomfortable, because this is where we're actually going to really serve the person on the other end of the message. We're not just exchanging pleasantries like you would with at a cocktail party. We're going to get deep. Okay. Are you ready, Lori?
I'm ready. I'm ready, man. Hit me.
Okay. So here's where you start to say something like this, and it will depend on what you offer. I know that a lot of your audience, Lori, are health professionals. Some of them are coaches. Some of them are practitioners in different ways. So however it is that you help people, think about what is the end result for somebody. Okay. I'm not thinking about the thing that you do. I'm thinking about what's the end result. Is it that you give them more energy? Is you give them more connection with their family? What's the end result? Keep that in mind. Then say something like this. So I'm curious, as someone who works with people to make this happen, outcome that you've already thought of, day after day, what are your goals in this particular area? What are your health goals lately? What are your business goals? lately over the next 90 days? You know, what are your goals with your family? Whatever it is, however it is that you help people. I don't know, you, the listener, what you're helping people with, but think about what's the outcome I get somebody, and then ask them what their goal is. And by the way, this question is such an incredible, indescribable gift to the other person on the other end of the line, even if they don't know it. Why? Because most people don't get what they want in life because they don't know. They don't know what they want. And you're giving them an opportunity right now to let them figure it out before they answer you or as they answer you. Does this make sense, Lori?
Absolutely. And I think that's really true for everyone, right? Like if you have to be prompted to even think about what the goals are. And I think that's such a great opener because it's specific, but it's also non-threatening.
Yes.
Right? It's a non-threatening question and a great way to start the conversation.
Yes. And you're doing it in such a way that you're giving a reason why you're asking. So you're saying, this is how I help people all day long. And I'm always trying to figure out what it is that people really want so that I can serve my clients better. It's not about, in that moment, you're not telling them like, hey, I really want you to buy. You're just saying, hey, I'm trying to figure out how I can better serve my people. I'm curious.
And
Can you
coming
talk?
from like a genuine place, like
Actually, yes.
genuine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So after you do that, this is really simple. I'm going to give you the most simple version of this. Again, there's more in-depth explanations on this, but for sake of time, I will not go into like the long version of this where it's like the whole thing scripted and everything. But the next thing you're going to want to do is ask them very simply, hey, what do you feel like you need at this point in order to make that happen? So if you have that goal now, you're probably at a place in your life where, you know, you now feel like this time is going to be different. You're actually going to achieve this goal. You're not going to put it off. You're not going to waste it or whatever. But this time, what is it that you think you need in order to make this goal happen? Again, you're going to wait for them to respond. They're going to say, I feel like I need a mentor. I feel like I need accountability. I feel like I need a different strategy, something different to do. I need to change the way I think about it, whatever it is. And then it's very simple. After they tell you what their goal is, what they need, you say this. You say, awesome. So what I hear you saying is you want this goal in this amount of time. You want to lose 20 pounds in the next 6 months. Okay, that's what you said you want. What you feel like you need is you feel like you need a supportive community around you. You need some accountability to make it happen, and you need a plan. So how about this? Let's hop on a quick call together or insert whatever call to action you have. I would love to send you a free training that can help you solve this challenge once and for all. I would love to hop on a quick call, quick brainstorming session where I can offer a solution for you for your specific situation so you handle this once and for all. How's that sound? How's that sound, Lori?
And they're like, that would be amazing. Thank you so much. And they feel like you've just gifted them with something incredible because who just offers to hop on a quick call to help solve their problem?
Yes. Yes. Exactly. Gets on a quick call or sends them a direct link to a webinar or a training that you've made that supports them even further, or, you know, an ebook that you're selling, whatever it is that you're selling. My expertise is in selling high ticket coaching. So this is like $1,500 to $5,000 packages all the way up to, you know, $15,000 or $20,000 packages. But so that's why in my process, I'm typically inviting people to the phone, but it'll work for any call to action that you want to put in here that's like works for your business model.
And I can feel people going, oh, but, you know, that takes a lot of time. Or, you know, again, like, I don't like, what if I say the wrong thing, or I don't want to seem pushy, or what if they don't want to get on the call? You know, how would you address that?
So good. So here's the thing. In business, if you want everybody to like you, you will fail. You will fail. I am not in business to be liked. I don't know about you, Lori. I'm not in business so that everyone will like me. I'm in business because I want to transform people's lives and I want to create a difference in the world. That's why I'm in business. Okay. And plus it's an expression of my gifts. Like I love like the the work of getting better, of helping more people, of improving myself and being able to share what I learn with other people. That's like my passion. I love it. And so if my mindset ever shifts to, I need everybody to like me, then I'm done. I'm done. Instead, I focus on one person at a time. Is what I'm offering, is what I'm serving to people, is it actually going to transform their life? Yes. Okay. Some people are not going to see it the same way that I do. And they're going to say, peace out. And they're going to say, no. And you know what? It has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with where that person is at in their life. Certainly, your methods can get better. You can practice this. You can learn different ways to do this, and you'll get better. Your strategy can get better. But a lot of people don't do this because they're afraid that if someone doesn't like them, then that means that their worth has somehow dropped. And I can just tell you that is not how business works. People don't like you or buy your service or not buy your service based on your value. They do it based on where they're at in their life. So my encouragement is know your worth is priceless, that you're valuable regardless. You are worthy of success, of appreciation, of love, whether or not other people around you see it all the time.
Yes.
And
Yep.
And that's fucking good, right? Like we could just stop right there and be done. Like
We're done.
that's so important.
Mic drop. We're good. But it's really true. And I think too, for the people that are just starting, I can feel sort of that, well, I don't know if I can actually transform someone's life. And I go back to the whole thing of like, because we're in the health and wellness industry, it's like people don't drink water and people don't eat fruits and vegetables. So even if you got them to, as you said at the beginning of the podcast, like even if all you did was get them to drink water and eat more fruits and vegetables, that is actually life transforming. And I think because we're so in our, what I like to call our holistic bubble, where we're so inundated with health and wellness, we forget the value of the information, our personal experiences, our professional knowledge, because we are not in and amongst the muggles who shop at Walmart, because that's not where we are.
Yes.
Right? And so we forget that what we actually, like, even just the water and the fruits and vegetables holds tremendous value. And I think we put too much emphasis on, is this the correct way to do things? Does this look pretty enough? Am I doing it right? Am I saying it right? And it's like, man, if you just really came from that place and offered support, like your business would take off, right?
Yep.
Like we're too into like, is this the right way or the right thing to do?
Yes. Yes. And I think a lot of people come from the place of there is right and there is wrong. But I don't think that business is really like that. I don't think that it's either right or it's wrong. I think instead, like, if it can help somebody, I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to ship it. And as I go, I'll get better. As I go, I'm going to get better. And here's the thing. You can only get good enough to a certain point until you start actually like putting something into practice. You actually start helping a real client. If you want to be the fucking best badass doctor or coach or whatever without clients and then start getting clients, good freaking luck.
Right?
Okay? Never going to happen.
You. Teach me how to do that. You have a winning strategy right there, because the only way, like the way that I describe it, is business is just progress. That's all it is. There is no like level of, oh, this is perfect now, because then you have a bigger goal and a bigger vision and you don't know how to do that. So you have to go and learn, and it's all just progress. It's the same with sales. It's the same thing where you start with 10 people in your Facebook group and you're like sweating buckets because you have to now private message them and you don't want to like interrupt them or whatever. And then you start to gain some competence in what you do and some skills in what you do. And all of a sudden you're like, every single person needs to know what I do. And I am going to scream it from the rooftops, because otherwise I feel like a failure. That's been true for me in my business as I've grown over the years. It's like, I'm going to shove this down your throat until you either unsubscribe or leave my world, or you're going to become a client because I know I can help you. Like, those are the only options right now. For me. Yeah. But that takes time, right? Like that, you don't come out of the gate feeling that way, right?
Right. I mean, 2 years ago when I was homeless and I just like had this dream of building a full-time online business, like I certainly didn't experience the like visceral passion to help every fucking human that I do now.
Yes.
Because now I see that what I actually do works. I've got hundreds of coaches that have created full-time businesses or six-figure businesses now as proof. And so it's like, okay, it really does work. Now I'm going to keep going. And I
Yes.
certainly didn't start with helping other coaches. I had to first help myself as a fitness coach. When I first started, I was like, can I just help one client? Like, can I just help one? Okay, I can help two, three, like one at a time. And I was still nervous, but I was like, I'm just going to keep taking action, keep figuring out with what works, one client at a time. And eventually, as you mentioned, my confidence grew. I got better and better and better. My confidence was the result of that competence which I was building. So I started to feel confident later after I was actually good and had results. And so then it's like a snowball. It just snowballs. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And the same will happen for any listener right now.
Yes. I love that you said that. It's so true. Even like for that formula, that private message formula, which is gold that you shared with us, of course you're going to sweat through your first like 30 private messages and you're not going to know if you're saying the right thing. But the only way to get better at it is to actually do it. Like,
Yes.
it's the only actual way to get better at something. It's not to like go learn more about it. It's just
Yes.
do it. Like just start doing it.
Yes. So good. So
Yeah.
good.
And I love too that you said, you started with one client at a time. I see a lot in my programs and in my Facebook group. It's, people are commenting, I just had 3 people show up, or I only have 10 people on my list, or I just have 2 people. And I'm like, yo, those are people, like actual people,
Yeah.
right? Like they're real
Holy shit.
people, and
Yes.
you're going to transform their life for real. Like you're just starting. Did you expect to have 50? Like you have 2 real breathing people that you are working with. They're not just 2 people.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so true. I have clients all the time ask me how to, how do I grow my Instagram? How do I grow my Facebook following? And sure, we can answer those questions. There's strategies to grow on organic. But here's the thing is like a lot of them are saying that from a place of, my 1,000 followers or my 800 followers is not enough. It's not enough to build a full-time business. And I just think it's bullshit. Like, because I've seen so many clients, like for example, one of my clients right now, Emily, she has 1,800 followers on Instagram. It's not bad. 1,800 followers is not bad. That's pretty good. But for with 1,800 followers, using this process of just doing the messenger process, which is what I just shared with you, doing a high ticket sales call and delivering powerfully one client at a time, she went from making $1,500 a month at her previous job. This was 2 months ago, and joined the program. The first month she made $10,000. Her number of followers didn't grow. She started her business, and then the next month she made more than that. She made $10,000 in one day. The second month she was doing this again with a tiny following. Some people are thinking that I need the 50,000 email list. I need the even the 1,000-person email list. You don't. Trust me. If you use this process and you're diligent, then you create clients. And plus, as to your point, Lori, like 1,000 people, if you just really treated those 1,000 people or those 500 people that are your Instagram followers or whatever, like they were actual humans in a room with you, your mind would completely change. I mean, think about this. If you had 300 people in a room listening to you talk, you would think of that totally differently than if you had
Mm-hmm.
300 Instagram followers, but they're still people.
Mm-hmm.
They're still people. And if you treated one like the other, my gosh, your business would blow up.
Yeah.
If you had 10 people in a room that were listening to you talk and were hearing you share value on how they could transform their life, you would treat that totally differently than if you had 10 Instagram followers. But people are still people. Treat
People,
them the same.
yep. People are still people. And I think the biggest takeaway that I would love for all of you listening to have is you have the opportunities right in front of you.
Yes.
And you're waiting on it. Like you're waiting on them to message you. You're waiting on them to sign up. Like, yes, it's time consuming. Hello, you're starting a business. Like, like maybe let's not spend so much time like researching different options and actually spend more time engaging with the people who've raised their hand and said, I'm choosing you. They've
Yes.
already, they've chosen you. They've followed you. They're in your group. They're literally like knocking on your front door saying, will you help me?
Yes.
And
Yes.
you're behind the door, like scared to open the door.
Yes.
Like I think of my daughter being like, my mom's not home. She's in the shower, because I'm like too scared to answer the door. right? But that's just the way that it is. And so if we can just get over that fear and just decide that regardless, I'm here to help people
Yes.
and reach out to them, like there's no more waiting. It's so true what you said.
Yeah. And what I always say also is like, take really, really good care of the few that you have, and they'll bring more.
Yes. Birds
They'll
of
bring
a feather flock together.
I mean, so another one of my clients, like she like has also a very small following, 1,300 on Instagram, and basically gets all of her clientele from that. She makes about $15,000 a month as an online fitness coach. Her name is Heather, and like her strategy is really simple. Like she delivers amazing results for one client at a time, and then she posts the transformation of that person on her feed, on her like Instagram feed, and then ask the client, "Will you repost this? Will you repost your transformation to your people?" She does. And then the friends of her client will reach out and say, "Hey,
Yep.
what's going on? Can I have some of that too?" And so then they all reach out to Heather, and she closes them on her $2,500 nutrition coaching package. But it only happens because, first of all, she's bold enough to take really good care of one client at a time. She takes really, really good care. And then she makes a simple ask. "Hey, I would love to share your story with my audience as a source of inspiration. Would you be willing to share it with yours?" And because she's delivered such amazing results, just really cared about them, they're like, "Of course, you've done so much for me. I would love to do it." And plus, she gives them a $50 gift card to Lululemon or Whole Foods if anyone signs up for her program. So just take care of a few, and more will follow.
Amazing. Thank you so much for this. I hope you guys realize, the strategy and just all the goodness that Sterling just delivered completely for free. So thank you so much. Where can people go to learn more about you? And of course, we'll link to it in the show notes, but just let us know.
Yeah, I think the simplest way would be to go to sterlinggriffin.com, sterlinggriffin.com, just my name. And on there, what I would love for any of you that are coaches or experts, I would love to send you my blueprint, which can take you from 0 to 6 figures within, the next 90 days. I have a blueprint that's right there on the top of the website. You just put your information in. I would love to send it over to you and help your business grow.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And we'll link to that for sure in the show notes. Awesome stuff. Thanks, everybody, so much for listening. And we will talk to you again soon. Have a good day.
Bye.